Crouse. Hey movie lovers, it's July 15th, and not only is it hot out there, it's also pretty hot in the movie theaters in kind of a family-friendly way this week. Two movies opening. One is very family-friendly, one family-friendly-ish. I'll tell you about both of them. Winnie the Pooh takes us back almost to the very beginning of the story. The Disney's Hey movie lovers, it's July 15th, and not only is it hot out there, but it's also pretty hot in the movie theaters this weekend in kind of a family-friendly way. There's two big movies opening. One is very family-friendly, the other is family-friendly-ish, and I'll tell you about both of them. Winnie the Pooh takes the stories right back to the very beginning. The people at Disney have gone back to the A.A. Milne source material, found a few stories that they hadn't yet turned into either a short film, and remember, 40-some-odd years ago, Walt Disney won an Academy Award for a Winnie the Pooh short story, or short film. Then since then, there have been 50-some-odd direct-to-DVD, direct-to-video, or made-for-television Pooh stories. Now, this one sort of reintroduces him to the big screen, and they've done a really wonderful job here. The original sort of beautiful animation is in place with beautiful watercolor backdrops and slightly more cartoony character animation. They've done a nice job there. The story is really wonderful. As I say, they've gone back to A.A. Milne, so it has a real ring of authenticity to it. They've snapped up the pace just a little bit, but I have to tell you, modern eyes, I think, will appreciate it, especially if you know the very early Winnie the Pooh, which I would like to call gently paced for very young ones. This one's a little faster. Parents might find it a bit slow, but I really think that kids are going to love this. The other big movie, and this one's family-friendly-ish because it is kind of an intense movie, but it's one that you may have heard of. It's called Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This is the final movie. There were 7 books. They broke up the last book into 2 films, and at the time I thought that was not such a great idea because the first movie, frankly, I think is probably the worst in the series, the first of the Deathly Hallows films. It set things up, but it just seemed like foreplay for what was to come. And, maybe it was, because the new film is incredibly satisfying. The new film sees Harry Potter finally have the showdown that has been waiting to happen for 10 years with Voldemort, played by Ralph Fiennes, and that is very satisfying. The movie itself puts the pedal to the metal right from the very beginning. It's probably the sort of most reliant on action of any of the Harry Potter films so far, but don't look for Quidditch games, don't look for a lot of the stuff that you've seen in other films, in other Harry Potter films, because that's not here. This is kind of action-adventure, and it's very much geared to closing everything up in a very dignified and very satisfying way. I think that fans of Harry Potter are going to be very excited by Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I really thought that Alan Rickman, who plays Professor Snape here, kind of steals the show a little bit. He's fantastic in the role of this guy is evil. Or is he? That's not really a spoiler. Anyone who really cares about the Harry Potter movies has already read the books, so you know what's going to happen already. And if you haven't read the books, if you go see this movie as a standalone, you're probably not going to have any clue what's going on unless you just sort of know what a Horcrux is or what the Sword of Gryffindor does and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Alan Rickman hands in a terrific performance here, and I have to nominate him as the best evil voice since Boris Karloff. If there was an award for that, he'd win hands down. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows gets 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I haven't really been a huge fan of the movies up until this, but they've really done this one right.
Richard